Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Emerge Detour Essentials Live. We are in season 4, and this is episode number 6. So we're already at the halfway mark of Detour Essentials Live season 4, which is kind of crazy because I feel like we just started the other day. But as usual, we want to welcome you. If it's the first time that you're joining Emerge Detour Essentials Live, we're here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you'll be joined with the trio, or we call it the trio, of Emergers here, and myself, Naomi Garrick. I am the PR chief, and I'm also a personal branding coach and the founder of Garrick Communications. And essentially, I help individuals and brands to stand out in a noisy world.
Welcome back, Nai.
Thank you.
Oh yes, Nai wasn't with us last week. We missed you.
Oh, I was there, but just
yeah, but it was different. We missed you.
Aww.
So I am a connector of brands, businesses, and people, and I am a part of the Emerge Trio. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome, everybody. I'm part of the Emerge Trio, daughter of Marcia, granddaughter of Esme, hailing from the verdant hills of St. Mary, a little district called Lucky Hill. Welcome on.
So guys, if you're joining for the first time, we would love if you could like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I think most of you will be streaming from YouTube, but you can also stream on Facebook. You can also follow us on Ready to Emerge on Instagram if you want to be up to date with what's happening with the Emerge team, upcoming workshops, events, and of course, who will be next on Emerge Detour Essentials Live. So we did our quick introductions, but one of the things I wanted to remind you about is our upcoming virtual workshop that's going to be on July 10th. It's a Saturday, correct, guys? I'm right?
Yes.
Saturday. And it's going to be focused on emerging into a digital world. And as we all know, COVID-19 has shaken us up a bit. We've all been forced to enter this space, whether we are ready or not. And so we're going to come on board with some other experts to really help you to get to where you need to go in order to monetize your brand, to position your online presence, and just do the things that will help you to really stand out in that space as an expert. So you can visit us on Ready to Emerge on Instagram in order to sign up for this workshop. This will be our second virtual workshop for the year. It's usually pretty exciting. You get an online workbook, very engaging. So share it with a friend. It should be pretty exciting. So I think that's it for me, guys. As I said, we're halfway through season 4, and we have a super exciting guest backstage. This is actually her first time going live on any kind of platform, not even her own platform. And it's someone that actually considers herself to be multi-hyphenated and a multi-potentialite. So I'm sure you're going to be very curious to hear what that all means. And Rochelle is going to do our awesome intro.
Nai, you said that the workshop should be pretty interesting and should be pretty good. So we're going to speak because just in case people are wondering, it not should. It will. It's go.
Did I say that? Did I say should?
Mm-hmm. But it not should. It's go be.
It's gonna be awesome, guys.
It's very, very exciting, and we have been navigating this space, learning as we go along, and we will be sharing with you what we have learned. How you monetize, how you get yourself, how you use LinkedIn. I mean, Naomi is like the person that teaches about that kind of stuff. I mean, you're going to get to be a part of that. And of course, we're partnering with Sagicor Group.
Yes, absolutely.
So before you do intro, Roshi, before you do intro, Lauren says, I'm always excited for Ready to Emerge, but tonight I am super excited. I love this woman so much. Woman of many traits and such a great mentor for young women.
Yes.
I wonder who she's talking about. I see Althea from New York City. Rochelle, welcome. Lorianne, hi, welcome. Althea. So I'm seeing a lot of our people from overseas. Please identify yourself, where you come from, where are
London, New York, Canada.
Before we do this introduction though, I need you to stop for a moment, get on your WhatsApp, send the link to a friend. Because as Lauren just mentioned, I mean, this is an exciting night because we have a lady here who, let me tell you, when she's done with us tonight, your lives will never be the same. You're going to find that you're living differently. You see yourself differently. You showcase yourself differently. You're proud of yourself differently. And you see your prettiness in a whole different way.
I started taking notes from backstage.
She refers to herself as a multi-potentialite, multi-hyphenated, and a serial entrepreneur, which has led her to start 10 businesses, which included 2 restaurants and wine bars, a cafe, a lifestyle furniture and retail shop, hotel gift shops, a clothing store, a spice store. She's an interior designer, and she has formed a concept company, a line of kaftans. I'm wearing a kaftan in celebration of our guest tonight. And she published 2 children's books. No, Cecile Levee. Cecile Levee, and if you don't follow her, you need to go and follow her now. Now, this lady, let me just pause for a moment. The first time I came in contact with this woman, and she breathed herself into a room and just brought a breath of oxygen up in there. You know, some people rob the place of oxygen. She filled it up with life. And just a moment ago, she was saying, you know, that death comes to us all, but she hopes the Lord keeps the pretty ones for a little longer. And let me tell you, when she's finished with you, you start looking in the mirror very differently, because this woman celebrates everything about life. She is grateful for everything about herself, everything she's got, her husband, her beautiful daughters. She currently spends her time as an interior designer, a wine consultant and educator, a lifestyle writer, a budding influencer, by the way. In fact, we have her on the online session because she's quite the budding influencer. She's getting ready to launch a lifestyle brand, and until COVID owned and operated an award-winning wine bar and bistro, Wine With Me. We're not forced to make a living, forced to make a living. Cecile loves to travel, and many of us have traveled around the world with her. I saw her post recently reminding us, throwing it back to Scotland. I was there with you, Cecile, in Scotland. She loves to travel, and she does so extensively in search of amazing food, wine, and a new and broader perspective on life. All while wearing red lipstick and her own sense of style and elegance. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Get yourselves ready. If you don't have on a red lipstick, put it on right now as we stage the lady herself, Cecile Levee.
I almost didn't recognize myself.
Hi, Cecile.
Hello, ladies. Oh my goodness gracious me. Oh my gosh.
You know what was funny, Rochelle? When you spoke about the first time you met Cecile, I don't think she would remember the first time she met me, but I remember it very vividly. I was actually an intern at the Terra Nova All Suite Hotel, and one day Cecile came in, and I remember she had on like a pinstripe blue and white button-down shirt. The sleeves were like rolled up, and like pearl earrings, red lipstick, of course, hair slicked back. And I was just saying, wow, this woman just looks amazing. And I remember she stopped by where I was to say to me, I think I had on makeup, you know, intern just out of university, whatever. And she was just like, you don't need to wear any makeup to work. You don't need to wear any makeup. And I was just like, okay, this fabulous lady says I don't need to wear any makeup, I'm not wearing any makeup to work. So, but I remember that, and I would have been like 22 at the time, but I always remember that encounter. And I mean, she's still as fabulous now as she was then.
Isn't that crazy though, that you can actually remember the first time that you met somebody?
I remembered what she had on and everything, because I was just like, It was just so effortless.
I remember the first time I met Cecile, which it was at a food awards, not the last one, the one before. And she was standing up beside Mother, and she literally came and embraced me and said, "Catherine, I feel like I know you." And I was like, "I know you."
That's what we mean. She brings such light
Yeah.
to the room. And
I thought I was kind every time I met. I'm so happy I was kind.
Yes, you were awesome.
yeah. No, and I'm glad you said that, because I think even for our viewers, just to recognize what kindness does, kindness leaves an indelible mark.
Absolutely.
But this is, as Rachel said, this exciting just hearing it. Laura said, feel it with a kiss. Cecile, tell us, when you speak of this multi-potential, like multi-hyphenated serial entrepreneur, before we get into anything else, can you tell us a bit about what all of that means and has meant to you?
Well, you know, there's a cellist called Pablo Casales. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. When he was in his 90s, he would practice every day playing his cello. And someone said, "Why do you still practice at your age?" He said, "Because I think I'm making progress." So that's me. I think I'm a multi-potentialite because I think I'm making progress. So one day I'll be multi-potential.
I love that.
But my thing is, sometimes it's very good and sometimes it's bad. I find myself with a lot of different talents. So sometimes it takes you in so many different places, and you know, you find that you're embracing so many different things instead of just focusing on one. And for a long time we were told, put your eggs in one basket, focus on this, focus on that. But why? If you have many different talents, why not? You get to live once. Once is all you get to live. So why not do everything your heart desires? If you can cook, why not cook? If you can bake, why not bake? If you can paint, why not paint? I mean, you don't have to exchange one for the other, because where is it written that Naomi can only be PR chick, but Naomi can't be PR chick who also bakes, who also writes? You know, so we have to start now owning our own lives and decide how we want to live it, and by our own rules. As long as you're not hurting anyone, offending anybody, just do the things that move your soul. And my soul is moved by many things. I'm also a painter. None of my artwork is behind me, but I also paint. So I just love to do different things. I get up in the morning and my gardener come and we're planting or we're painting or we're fixing a roof or something. I just love to keep myself busy.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm like.
So, you know, as you mentioned, just doing things that make your soul move. You know, some people are saying to themselves, you know, well, she started out as a fashion model.
Yes.
How did she, what was it about her life? What influenced on her journey? This seeking out of things that make your soul move, this boldness to just capture the things that ignite your own fire. Tell us about your journey and some of the inspiration and the persons who have affected your life to cause this spark.
Okay, first, well, I started high school in Jamaica, and then I went to New York and finished high school. While I was in New York, I started to model. And when I was modeling in New York, you know, in New York, when you start modeling, unless you're like one of the top models, you have to also have a side job to actually pay that Manhattan rent, because I had to live in Manhattan. If I was going to live in New York, I had to live in the city because I'm a city girl. So I was a bartender. I used to bartend for this fabulous place called Live Bait, where all the bartenders and all the staff were models. For the owners, the three owners were also models themselves. So they knew we were starving, so they hired us. So while I was modeling, I was doing bartending. I was also working at one point in a clothing store called Made in Paris. Then after I was bartending, I started working in a proper restaurant, which was run by Danny Myers, who is one of the greatest restaurateur of all times. He now owns that Shake Shack. That whole Shake Shack thing is him. But he Union Square Cafe, the Metro. He owns some of the top restaurants in New York. So while I was working with Danny ignited a love of wine, because every single day before service, we would have to taste the food that's on the menu. We'd have to drink the wine. We have to taste the wine because we needed to know how to sell it to the customer.
Mm-hmm.
Danny was this genius of a marketer, and one of his things that stays with me to this day that I impart with my staff is his thing was always turn a negative into a positive. So any encounter that was negative, you must make it a positive experience before the end of that encounter. So those were the things that I did that was starting to ignite. So it's working with Danny Myers at the love for food, restaurant, wine, because it was such an like in the evening when we were ready to open, like how Kathy was saying, Cecile, you have 2 seconds to thing.
Yes.
We would just look at the watch and it's 6 o'clock and we just all look at each other and say showtime. And then everybody's shoulders get back and we were just theater. So that how he did restaurant, it was not the drag yourself and the servitude. It was about service, but service was like, wow, how are we going to wow people? So that created a love, a passion of just being able to go above and beyond and just really wow people with just experiences that they didn't even expect. His thing was also, anticipate the need of the guests before they even realize they have the need. So when you're in a situation like that, it just creates such passion, such theater, such things. So that instilled in me a love of service. I'm a huge service person. My biggest pet peeve is bad service. Mm-hmm. So that really ignited that whole service thing in me. And when I came home, I came to Jamaica with the intention to stay 1 year. Because I was in New York, I'd lost a close friend of mine from cancer who lived in Jamaica. And one day I'm making my bed and I'm going, why am I here making my own bed? I'm just like, why am I struggling in New York? So I called a friend who was actually Debbie Whittingham, and she called her dad, Richard Whittingham, who unfortunately passed away the other day. And Richard had a friend, Sam James, who was just opening Grand Leader Hotel in Negril. And he said, I think they need an assistant food and beverage director. And I said, I'll take it for a year, just come and chill. And I did that. And then I was like, oh, New York to Negril was a shock to my system. This New York girl.
But even Kingston to Negril can be a shock.
Exactly. So I thought, I'm going to go back. But in going back, another friend of mine bought a hotel and said, Cecile, can you stay for a little? And I said, I'm going back to New York. He said, please. So I decided 3 months. Then in that 3 months, I met my beloved husband. 25 years this summer.
Oh, congratulations. That is beautiful.
So while I've been here, I've decided I was in the hotel. I was a hotel general manager for 2 properties. Then I decided I need to start my own business because I'm an entrepreneur at heart and I'm what you call a maverick. So I like to create my own path. I'm not good with people telling me how to do things. I want to do it my way because I usually think I have enough of a sense of style and a sense of direction that I can do it in a different way. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. It doesn't mean I didn't say the right way. I mean a different way. Yeah. Sometimes all you need to show people is just a different way. So because I have such different ways of doing things, I've always wanted to just continue doing my own businesses. And my interest is far and wide. I love clothes, I love design, I love food, so I try to just do everything.
I love that.
Whoa. Catherine, I think that's your questions.
I do. I have lots of questions.
Yes. So just go on and go on.
Exactly.
I know I don't have to stop myself because I'm a talker, so I have to like cut
love it.
That's what this show is all about.
So as someone who loves to travel and is always traveling, you've always run your businesses from afar, and then COVID happened. How has that impacted your businesses, and what are some of the lessons that you've learned coming out of COVID?
All right. Well, for me, COVID, I'm one of those who COVID has literally devastated. I had to close my only business at the time, my only income at the time, because the design was, behind. I like to do big projects, and there was no big projects in the work, because I find doing small homes and stuff, sometimes it's just so much energy, and there's, it's just too much conflict with individual personalities. So I like to do commercial and big projects. So there was no big project in the work. My only income was my business that I was building. So everything I put in that business for the last how many years, just it's like someone just put the money in a paper shredder and just shredded it. And everything from March 10th was when I think the government said close down. And I closed down, and that was the end of everything that I've spent the last 3 years building financially. But in losing everything, I still had a place to live. I had food on my table, and I had breath. And and I hope. And they said, as I breathe, I hope. So I was breathing, so I was hoping. But the biggest lesson I learned from COVID, and like I said, even with losing everything, I owe suppliers. So it's not that I'm free and clear. I have suppliers that I'm working out these things with. There was the bank that I'm still working things out. But the thing is, don't hide from your responsibilities. Don't run away from your responsibilities. Just handle them the best you can and work it out, and just make people understand that you will get to it. It's just sometimes things are a little hard.
Yeah.
But the most important lesson, and I really hope people are listening to this, nobody likes to be invited to a pity party. So it becomes an extravagance for one. So therefore, I decided I was not going to host any pity party, even though I've lost everything.
Yes.
Because every single day is a day to start over. And I mean, I'm one of those who have never tied my self-worth to my net worth.
Wow.
So my network was gone, but my self-worth was still intact. So that was the biggest lesson I learned. Nobody wants the pity party. Nobody wants to hear you struggle. Nobody, because everybody in their own way is having their struggle. So they don't want to hear about it. Just like they say, put on your big girl panties and just, get on with it. Get on with it the best you can. So I'm still figuring how I'm going to get on with it. But in the meantime, I keep a really good spirit, which I think is very important. My attitude to life is just, as if everything is okay.
Wow. For the people that feel like they're still stuck in COVID and they don't know how to move forward, what advice would you give them?
Well, the advice I would give them is that you have to now look at different ways to do things. That's what everybody has to be doing. I mean, the word you have heard thrown around so many times to the point where it becomes like, oh God, pivot if I hear it anymore. But I'm going to use it again, because really, we really have to pivot. And it's really easy in some ways for some people to turn around and do something else. It's just that you have to open your mind to the possibilities, what is possible. And sometimes we have to realize, to make a giant leap forward, sometimes we have to take 10 steps back. But it does not mean that it's anything for you to be embarrassed about, be ashamed of, be anything, because you're alone doing your journey. Don't worry about where Rochelle is and Kathy and Naomi and who is where and who is what. You're alone doing your journey. So if sometimes you have to step 10 steps back to make that giant leap, take the 10 steps back. If you have to go and work in a restaurant, if you have to go and, be an office receptionist, because there's no shame in hard work. And that's what we have to learn. There's no shame in hard work. So sometimes we have to just take a step back to make a leap forward. We take a step back, and it's hard. I'm not saying that for people to just get up, brush yourself off, and just get on with it, because really, it's really very hard. But then what you say is, what is my alternative?
Mm-hmm.
If I have children, do I want my children to see me curled up in a ball every day, can't get out of bed? You have to remember that you're sending messages to to your next generation that yes, there's going to be setbacks. Oh my God, there's going to be setbacks. I've had many in my life, but I have two daughters who I want to always know that yes, you brush yourself off. The Chinese, I think, said fall 7, get up 8. Get up 8. So always, just always know that you can get up and reach out for help.
And reach
Yes. That one is so important.
Yeah, I just want to point out too, before I ask you my last question. Everything that you shared with us is thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
But the fact that you have been so intentional about opening up your space to us, to those of us that follow you, in such a meaningful way. I mean, I have learned to grow scallion from you. I have learned to do from you.
I'll be sending my invoice.
Because we're all decorating our tables differently now. We've gone outside, gone pick flowers.
You have poured into so many of us. And so I just want to point out that even though you have been going through your struggles, you still have found it in you to pour into. And I would safely say at least hundreds of us.
Yes.
We are very grateful for that.
Yes.
Welcome. To add to that, Catherine, I was having that conversation with somebody the other day, and I was saying to the person, the big mistake we make in life is that everything we do in our lives don't have to benefit us for it to be worthwhile. So there are people who, if they're struggling, they're not going to help you because you're going to succeed and leave me struggling. But I realize that even in my struggle, if I can help somebody else succeed, because guess what? If I don't help Naomi, she's still going to be the PR chick. So we have to realize that not because you don't support and help somebody's going to stop their journey.
Yeah.
You can't wait till everything is okay with you to help somebody else. You must always reach out and help somebody else, even if it doesn't benefit you.
Yeah,
absolutely. Have to learn.
So I have a question. When you start to travel again, where's the first place you want to go?
Okay, well, I should be doing it soon, I hope. I'm actually thinking of Italy, but I also have a plan to Budapest, Austria. Where else? Budapest, Austria, Germany. And there was somewhere else that I can't remember right now, but probably the first one, because my anniversaries come up and we have to do something. It's 25 years.
25.
Wow.
Yes, give the girl a trophy.
Over to you, Nay.
Absolutely. Listen, I am ready. I'm ready for the Europe trips. Ready. So now, if you aren't following Cecile on Instagram, you are, as Catherine has mentioned, and Rochelle, you're definitely missing out. I'm also one of those that have learned to use my bougainvillea outside as actual floral arrangements on the table, putting them in little glassware and mason jars and all kinds of things. I think I did a banana bread once, and I decorated the plate with bougainvillea. So, you need to start following Cecile on Instagram with her hashtag Cecile with a kiss.
Yeah.
To get all the gems. And what I really loved about it is that it's a lot of different tips and life hacks and lifestyle and fashion and food and just experiences and, creating these spaces. But what made you decide to really jump into this online space and start just showcasing all these different elements of your life and just, showing us how to just live well?
Well, actually, let me give a shout out to Tammy Chen, is the one, Mitchell,
Yes.
with Cecile with a kiss. She wrote me the other day and said, you need to have your own YouTube channel and the name is Cecile with a kiss. And I was like, wow.
Love it.
I went immediately and just kind of, what they call it, bought it. I bought the domain and everything like that. And I'm like, yes, I'm on that. So She was the one who came up with
I
Cecile
love it.
Mhm.
So what made me do it's funny, when COVID started, I was still in the grill. My husband was still in the hotel before he retired. And one day we were just sitting in the dining room and I went and picked some bougainvillea again because I was going to take it to my cottage in my home and put it in a vase. And I'm sitting at the dining table having lunch while I'm waiting, and I grabbed a coffee cup, and I said, let me just stick these in the coffee cup till I get home so they don't die. And when I put it in the coffee cup, I said, oh my God, this is fabulous. So the friend that was with me, Serena Williams, actually, famous name. Serena was with me. I said, Serena, video, just let me do a video of me putting it back together. You know, I said, just put it, because this was so pretty. Let me do it over and you videotape me doing it. So I
Yes.
did that and I posted, and I was shocked at the response. I said, okay. So the next day I did something else. And then I think I started doing the wines and everything. And then the response started getting, you know, and I'm like, oh, I'm enjoying this. Because I've always thought one day I'd like Novia McDonald White always tell me I should do the Oprah of the Caribbean. So I said, okay, darling. But to be honest, when I started to do it, people don't realize I'm actually they said I display extroverted personality, but I'm an introvert, believe it or not. So I still had a lot of trepidation as to how much of my life did I want to share, how much of me I want to share, because I'm still very private in a lot of things. And if you notice, there's certain things I don't share. There's certain ways you'll never see me dressed on social media. You'll never see me exposing certain body parts because that's just not who I am.
Yes.
So I'm still, even now, I'm still very cautious as to how much of myself I want to reveal, because I think there's always something to be said about mystery. Mystery is never overrated. So I think there's a little chips of you that's kept for yourself, you know. So I still try and just not give everything, but I try to give what is teaching moments, what people can learn from, what's helpful to people. So I try and elevate people's life, like the cloth napkins versus the paper napkins, you know, no plastic flowers, you know, things like that, which I think are meaningful to people's life. Take out your designer, use it every day. So things that I think give meaning to people's life is what I want to share, more than my personal life saying, you know, oh, you know, look at me, you know. So I try and give more teaching moments than say, oh, look at me, you know. I'm so fabulous. Well, I'm fabulous, but you know, we don't want to do it.
Yeah. Well, as you heard, I mean, I say Lauren posted, you know, none of this is just for the gram. Auntie Cecile does something creative and new every day that blows minds. And I think what is mind blowing too is the fact that it's simple things, right? So as you said, you know, going outside and just looking around your garden and seeing what's there and utilizing that in your house, or, you know, finding ways to entertain. So I love to see when you're doing your little events, and I saw you putting on some dance moves the other day. I saw that you had entered a particular challenge as well.
Oh my God, Naomi, I'll never live it down. My grandchildren, if they ever come, if I ever have any, oh my God, can you imagine? Novia McDonald White, blame it on her.
Well, we all saw, I think her video went viral. So
yes, it did.
That nice video.
Went viral.
Fame at last. They will be fame at last.
And not the way you thought it would be.
Oh, no.
So what I would love to know is, what, now that you have the YouTube channel, right? What is the end goal for you, or what's the next step as it relates to Cecile with a Kiss? I know we've seen a couple, you know, sneak peeks of what you're doing, but what can we expect? What can we look out for going forward?
Actually, to be honest, Naomi, I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to YouTube. I don't even know how to do it properly. I mean, the same Lauren will like, Auntie, just turn on your camera and go, Auntie. I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue what I'm doing. There's sometimes I'll do something. I said, okay, maybe this can go on YouTube, but I post it. But I need to be more consistent. I need to be more, you know what happened to me? When I'm finished something, I go, oh, I should have video like that. Like the other day, I did my outside patio with those pot sticks. And it's when I was
Yes.
finished, he wrote me and said, "Did you video it for your YouTube channel?" I'm like, "Oh no, I should have, shouldn't I?" So lucky I had another patio to do, and then I videotape it for that. But I'm going the other day to at home. I live on the sea, so everything that's metal rust. So my curtain rods were rusting, and sometimes I don't like to spend money. So you know what I did? My rusting what do you call them? Shower curtain rods.
Yes.
They had these beautiful little crystal balls at the end. But when I look at the cost of replacing them, and I had so many, I got no, no, no. So you know what I did? I said to buy some mop sticks that were like $200 each. Then I took off the beautiful little balls off my metal one, shaved down the ends, stick the balls on the end of the mop stick and paint the mop stick white. Gorgeous.
Wow.
Yeah, so $200 versus $4,000 each. So I should have videotaped that, but I forgot.
Absolutely.
I do these things every day. Every day I'm doing something.
And you know what's funny, Cecile, because you make it sound like so like easy. Like this is like, yeah, I do this every day, and I don't think any of the three of us would think of doing that.
But that, like Lauren said, it literally is how I live every single day. Just things like that just come to me, and it's just my normal everyday existence. So I keep forgetting that it's special to somebody else, that I should tape it. So those are the things that I do every day, and I go, oh, I should have done that. But I really need help, to be honest, with even Tabby said she'd help me, but she's probably so busy. I need some help with some kind of direction for someone to say to me, let's see you interview this person, or let's see you make a bread. Let's see you, just more direct.
So like a schedule. Well, I'm sure we can definitely help you with that, Cecile. So.
Yes, that's what I need. I need someone to guide me. I need someone to walk around with me and just, video me and just do. I just don't know.
Because I mean, as you said, if you're every day doing stuff, I mean, what do you think for you was like your most exciting project?
Oh, my most exciting project. What have I done that is so exciting? Oh God, Naomi, I don't even know if they're exciting. You know what? You know what I really loved that's really made a difference in my life since I moved back here? My floating shelves in my kitchen. They have made such a difference to my life, because the space was small, and then of course after closing our business, moving another house, and everything was in one place, and I tried to not make it too yeah, so you want to try and still have some elegance and stuff. So my kitchen kind of, to me, felt a little small. And I have all these beautiful platters and plates that I want to use. So I did these floating shelves. So now everything is displayed. So all my beautiful platters are out. So it's make it easy to use them. You have to rinse every time, but that's okay. But that, I think, was probably the most exciting, and also was the most practical. Practical is the word I want to use.
Have you showcased those floating shelves on your page?
It's on my IG. Yes, it's on
I'm gonna have to go back and look at them.
And I even showed a picture of me staining them. I went up and I stained, because people don't realize when I'm at home, I actually get my hands dirty. I'm painting, I'm dragging sticks from everything. I mean, people just think because I'm just so pretty that, that you do nothing but just, lay back and just like sip wine, water. It's white, it's water. So people just think that you just do these things and you're just pretty and you just, just sit back and you're just going like this all day and just fanning in the AC. But I work.
Yes.
I don't even go to get my nails done, because I'm always doing things. I'm always in something. So, you know what I did this weekend?
What did you do?
I've been tie-dyeing everything inside. Everything.
Like what?
My pants, I had a pair of pants that had a stain, so it's now tie-dyed. I had a thing that had a stain, it's now tie-dyed. Napkins, tablecloth, everything now is tie-dyed. So that's what I do on weekends when I'm bored. I just do something. I tie-dye.
But now that could be a whole other business, right?
It is part of the Cecile Levee collection. That's part of what is going to be part of the collection. And I have some other exciting products I'm working on for the whole collection, because a girl needs an income. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Fabulous takes money. You know, you guys know that. You know?
Fabulous takes money.
It
Very
does
right, that
take
one
money
down.
to be fabulous. Yes, I mean, and a girl needs an income. So I have to. Kathy, here is it now. I have to pivot.
I love that. Over to you, Rashi.
So, Cecile, as you're talking, nothing seems to really get you down. You are always just such life and energy. Do you ever get down? And when you do, how do you just transition and just emerge again as Cecile? How do you handle that? You mentioned that you are introverted, and I'm actually not surprised because the girls know I'm like that too.
Mm-hmm.
But share with us, because people see fabulous Cecile and them say, like, she just wake up in the morning with her red lipstick in and nothing ever do her. The issues that you've had with your business, but you just keep bouncing back. What is it? What's that thing about you that just gets you up and going no matter what?
Well, you know what it is, Rochelle? To be honest, I can't remember ever really being down. I've been in, situation when I lost, because the first time I lost a business really financially, when it was a financial blow to me, was when the recession came. And I also lost again another wine business. And that really kind of swept me off my foot. But only time I get down is when I owe people money, because I really hate to owe money. But you tell yourself that as an entrepreneur, it's business debt. You're not borrowing it to go and travel. You're not borrowing it to buy Gucci, Gucci. You're not. So your conscience is clear, where you know that it was not spent frivolously.
Yes.
But as an entrepreneur, anything can happen. And the incidents that have really swept me off my feet has been global incidents. It has not been anything that I did wrong or I didn't do right or anything like that. So there were things that big companies were wiped out. Other people that were more successful were wiped out. But so those are usually really the time that I get into, not depression or down, because what I've learned, there's something I really live by, and it's the Serenity Prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So what I can't change and what I can't control, I learn not to internalize it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very honest, open person. So I'm one of those. I must tell you an incident. I'll tell you an incident why I don't get down and how I handle things. My first wine bar, when I lost that, a friend of mine whose daughter and my daughter were very good friends, and he was leaving his daughter to stay with me, and he said, "Oh, Cecile, let me just double check to see if I have your number so I can call to pick up my daughter. I'm not going to call the name. It's a very prominent person too." And he repeat my number, and I said, no, that's the number that people I owe money have. So he was like, so he cracked up, and so you tell your story and you don't hide from what is happening. The same thing too on social media. I wrote that Thanksgiving, I said, I want to thank my suppliers who I still owe money. I haven't forgotten, but I'm temporarily broke. I'm temporarily poor. So you own your narrative. You don't identify with things that you own. Don't be afraid to lose the material things and still be who you are. So that's what it has, because I'm very open, Rosh. When people used to ask me how I am, I said, after losing the first business, I'd go out in public. And Jamaicans love to measure. They love to measure where they are versus where you are. And when they ask how you are, it's not usually because they really care how you're doing. It's just a measuring how you are versus where they are. So people used to ask me in big polite company, so Cecile, how are you doing? Because they knew I'd lost my business. But I knew it wasn't out of concern. So I would answer openly and wide, says, broke but fabulous. You know? So you own your narrative. So when somebody tells somebody, Cecile Levee broken up, oh, she told me already.
Yeah.
She's owned it. And that's what you do, because no matter how the facade you put on for other people, you have to face yourself. Like how we're staring back at ourselves through YouTube,
Yes.
you always have to face yourself. So you can tell anybody anything you want. But when you look at yourself in the mirror, you have to be able to live with who you are and the honesty with who you are, because it's okay to be broke sometimes. So don't identify who you are with where you are financially, the job you have. Don't identify yourself with the positions you have. So that's what happened to me. I'm Cecile, no matter whether I have a business, I don't have a business, whether where I am in life is not, I am the same no matter what, because when you are about who you are and not what you have, and when you're not measuring yourself, nothing phases you. Nothing phases. So you don't go up and down because, oh my God, I have no money. Oh, so I'm down. What I do when I have no money, I just keep myself quiet and I have my little seaside lunches because I have food, and I have wine. So I'm not going out, and I try not to do that, especially when I'm in debt. I try not to live an extravagant life when I'm still owing other people who are dependent on my paying their debt.
Yes.
Yes, so I'm very conscious of things like that.
That is so, so powerful. And as you described yourself, different multis, I also think you're multi-generational. So you speak across generations. I mean, Lauren is on and she's influenced by you, but
Love
you
her.
treat her as a peer. And I know that with you across generations, you treat persons as equals. And tell us a little bit about that. And even as a mother, what are you like as a mom?
You'd have to ask Mike Kennedy and Spencer that. Oh my God, it would be very interesting to hear what they have to say. But well, the multi-generational, let me address that first. It's funny, Rochelle, I have been really blown away by the amount of young people that reach out to me. The other day, I had a few of them at lunch. And you know what blew my mind the other day? This was so funny. My husband was just like cracking up, because I had some young people over and I realized when I was talking to them, when I graduated high school, they were not born. And I was like, oh my God, it blew my mind. When I graduated, they were not even born. And Kevin is like, Cecile, what is wrong with you? That was in the 70s. They were born in the 90s. And I'm going, so what are they doing hanging out with me? But you'd be surprised the amount of young people that reach out to me I'm mentoring so many of them. I invite them to lunch, because what is happening with these young people? Oh my God, they need guidance.
Mm-hmm.
They need guidance. So I have a few of them that now calling me auntie, that I, help. I have them for lunch, and because they are all bright, very bright, going places, but my goodness, they need to be developed.
Yes.
They need to be developed socially. They need etiquette. We have to sit them down with a knife and fork and the napkin in the lap. And also, what is the multi-generation that blows my mind is just vulgarity. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. So we need to kind of bring them back into, being more elegant. Being more elegant. But that blew my mind. And my husband always say to me, Cecile, I don't know what you're surprised about, but the younger people reach out to you. I mean, I was looking at on my social media thing, and most of my followers were in the 20s to 40. And I'm going, guys, I'm near 60, right? So that
appeal to us young people,
I know, all of you, I could be your grandmoms. So I am always shocked to see what do they find. So like Lauren, I speak to Lauren every day, every day, just like how I speak to my two daughters. So, but there's always something that I don't know what it is. I just don't know what it is that appeal to young people about somebody who's close to 60 years old versus, And
first of all, let's address the fact that you don't look like you're close to anywhere.
This is me fixing up.
Let's just be very clear about that part.
Not remotely.
Not, but you know, as you are there and you laugh a lot, and it really kind of reinforces that spirit keeps the youth that you have. You know?
Yes. You have to find, because no matter how hard life is, everything is not hard. And I don't know if you guys have seen this video of this young lady who was on that X Factor. She's called Nightbird, and she is a cancer survivor.
Oh.
The doctors gave her 2% chance of survival.
Yes.
And this young lady said, you don't have to wait until life is no longer hard to enjoy it or something, like to start living or something. And I went, oh my God.
Yeah.
So that is it, Rochelle. No matter how rough the sea is, or the storm, it must end. No matter how hard things are, there has to be some part of it that's not hard. So you focus on the part that's not hard, and that's what you focus every day when you get out of bed. And that's what just makes you get out of bed. And you just kind of put the hard part to the smallest space. Let that occupy the smallest space of your existence. And just the good stuff. Just, lead with the good stuff every day.
Wow.
That's excellent.
Yeah. That was
tonight has just been
on my script. I have all these notes that I've written down.
Same thing. But you know that we can't even go a step further without best advice from Cecile. Who is leading best advice? I see.
Well, I can start with the first one. So, Cecile, we have this section called Best Advice, where you can tell us the best advice that you have received or you have given as it relates to a particular topic. So the first one is the best advice that you have received or that you would like to share about love.
The best advice about love. The best, but they always tell you that love someone more than that someone love you more than you love them, but that's not really a good advice. The best advice about love is that love must always come with respect. Must come with respect, yes.
All right. Best advice about money.
Oh God. Live below your means. Live within your means. Live below your means. That is it. And invest well. But live below. The best one is live within your means. Live within your means.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay. You go ahead, Rush.
I saw best advice about health, and I noted recently a video that you did in honor of your new trainer, the one and only Patrice, who has been a guest on this show.
Oh, I love her.
So about the best advice about health and wellness, man.
The best advice about health and wellness. Actually, I am on that journey now because I was told that the person that's going to live to be 150 is alive now, and I'm hoping it's me. So I am thinking that I'm seeing if this is one of the things you can manifest. So I'm manifesting the 150. So my thing is, I told myself, if I'm going to be 150, I want to be 150 in short shorts with, heels or something like that in Louboutins. So I've decided that for it to happen, even if I reach 100, my other goal is 98 or 100. So I want it to be the 98, 100-year-old that is not walking with a cane, that has all my faculties about me. And I realized one of the key things to healthy life is your diet. Like Pat loved to tell you can't outrun an
out-train a bad diet.
Right. So the key is diet, not diet in terms of holding back food, but what to eat. I'm a vegan now, and I've been on a vegan. Yes, I've been a vegan, but for 40 6 years, I have not eaten red meat. So it was easy for me. I never ate meat all my life. From I was 16 or so, I stopped eating meat, stopped drinking sodas from I was 16. I never did the fast food treats with my children. My children never had sodas when they were children, never had juices when they were children. So they only had water. And to this day, my daughters, what water? Because eating is a learned habit.
Yes.
So I never did all that junk things as treat. I usually tell them it's poison, your children. Don't take your children to fast food for treat. It's poison. So I've always been very conscious of how I eat. And now what I'm doing is being conscious of actually working out. So I've taken on Patrice J. White. Oh my God, Rush, I'm ready to, oh my God. Anyway, but I'm getting the results. I must say, I am getting the results. She's in another cycle with her. So even before, I had to say to her, I can't stretch today because I have to go and get ready for my live. So she said, go ahead. I hope this doesn't mean I'm going to have to do burpees tomorrow. Oh, she's tough. She's a dynamite.
Best advice about relationships.
Relationships in terms of partner or just in general?
Any kind of relationship.
Well, the thing about relationships, and this is something I am now embracing, and I had the conversation with my husband the other day, and I even had a conversation with my novia the other day. The thing about relationships, what I've started to do, celebrate those who celebrate you. Don't make anyone a priority who for them you are an afterthought.
Yes.
So relationships need to be on equal footing. You can't be worshiping somebody who just barely notice that you exist. So celebrate those who celebrate you. And when I say that, even if it is the person that you would not even otherwise, but if they think, oh, Miss Naomi, you're so fabulous with me, and they're honoring you, that's the person now you're going to turn to make time for. The person who's making time for you is who you're going to make time for, not the people who don't know you, who don't see you, and only know you when things are well.
Like a sermon right there.
Yes, celebrate those who celebrate you, no matter who they are. Just once somebody think the world of you, start giving them some respect and honor the fact that they take so much time to think the world of you. So honor that.
What advice would you give to your 20-year-old self?
Oh my God, my 20-year-old self, I lived in New York City, and oh my God, I was having I was hanging out with Prince. I used to go dancing with Prince. Prince as in the musician. Don't have to be beautiful. Yes, so that Prince. I used to hang out with Eddie Murphy because a girlfriend of mine was really good friends. They used to act together. So my 20-year-old self in New York was really hanging out with who is who and stuff like that. My 20-year-old self, I would have invested more. I wish I was more aware of financial things like stock market instead of at a later age. I wish I had, known about it then. And had more focus in terms of a long term, in terms of that kind of stuff. But everything else my 20-year-old self did was fabulous. I mean, the first time I went to Paris, I was 19, and I took the plane to Germany, jumped on a train from Germany to Paris, didn't speak the language, came out, went on a telephone, called the hotel, saw a Frenchman walking and said, do you speak English? He said, yes. I said, come here, tell me what they said. And I gave him the phone, and he stopped a cab, put me in the cab, and took me to the hotel. Sent me on my way to the hotel. So my 20-year-old self was still traveling. I was living in New York. I was just doing things and just going anywhere. But the thing I tell myself is, invest from an early age. You can't be too young to start investing in stocks, real estate, all that extra money. Leave the Gucci Poochie Lucci until you have really earned it.
Yes.
Leave all of that. There's plenty of time to do that, but just start, building a financial nest egg.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
This has been an amazing show.
We knew this was going to be an amazing show, but I don't think we knew how amazing it was really going to be.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Because we're all leaving here with all these notes and all these gems and just these quick nuggets of wisdom that I'm going to try to send back to you, because you can now use that as content on your Instagram page.
Yes.
oh.
With your quotes. Yes. So Lauren, you can help Auntie Cecile to put that together.
I know. Lauren is so busy building her La Nutmeg that's opening next week. So poor thing, she has no time for me.
We're going to have Lauren on the show.
Yes.
For sure.
Wow.
But Cecile, this was really, truly just an awesome experience to have you. We're so grateful that you chose to do your first live with us.
Yes. And I hope my two daughters are watching. One is in New York and one is in Canada.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I hope they're watching.
And if not, we'll send them the video so they can watch the release.
They better watch the live.
Let me tell you, so Alicia is one of our emergers that she's always on with us and she's always commenting. So I was just thinking a while ago, where Alicia? I wonder where Alicia gone. She says, I've been taking so many notes, I can hardly comment. Wow. So this has been an amazing experience with you, Cecile. And I think the thing that will really stick in persons' minds is this concept that fabulous is a mindset. Fabulous has nothing to do with position. It has nothing to do with your bank account. It's a mindset. And it's more than your clothes. It's how you approach everything about life, just extracting the beauty of life. And I think that has been this has been unforgettable. Many of us are waking up tomorrow morning. In fact, we're going to our bed with a different attitude of gratitude to wake up tomorrow morning to just embrace life. Just embrace life. Thank you, Cecile. We really have to Cecile it with our kids. Mwah.
I'm gonna have to put fabulous is a mindset on my mirror.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Happiness is a mindset. All of it. Just choose joy. Choose happiness. You decide in every day you roll out of bed. Because just like in a conversation, an argument, someone can say anything to you. It's not an argument until you react.
Yes.
So it is as simple as that. It's how you get up and decide how am I going to live my day today. So it's very simple, because people can say anything, but it's how you react that creates that next step to if you're going to you ruin your day or you're going to have a peaceful, joyful day. So always choose joy, choose happiness. Don't let anybody steal your joy. I don't.
See, people are saying they have to go and watch this episode over because it was so good.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice. Oh, so sweet.
So I'm thinking now, only per map stick we're gonna take life now.
You have to post a picture of that.
I will. I'll post a picture because I have them in the room done up already and hanging and everything.
Yes.
Amazing.
And then
So I remind everybody to follow Cecile. You will not regret it. Every day you're gonna learn something new. Literally. Every day you're going to learn something new. So follow her at Cecile Levee on her Instagram. And of course, Cecile with a kiss on YouTube.
Yes. Which I have to start now sending things on. I need to do. Yes, I need to at least do once a week or twice a week, but be consistent.
Yes. Start with once a week and you'll be fine.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
And anything that you need, you can call any of us.
I will be. Oh, you're going to with all the multi-hyphenated thing, one thing I'm a techno peasant. I have no clue. I'm a techno peasant. No clue. So.
Lorian says for sure she's stepping into work tomorrow with her fabulous self. Great show.
I love it. So thanks again so much, Cecile. We really appreciate you taking the time to sit with us and share with our audience. As you saw, people will be rewatching, and people that joined late, we are going to start over. And, for those that just tuned in or a little bit too late, you can go right back to this episode once we're finished and start right from the beginning.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, ladies. This
Thank you,
was
Cecile.
absolutely fabulous. So now you have broken my live fair. Now I'm
Yes.
afraid of live. I think you might have created a monster.
I know. I feel like we're going to see you popping up live tomorrow on Instagram, which you should.
Darling. You know it's already in my mind. You know,
Yes.
I'm going to be live now.
I'm going to look forward to seeing the little ticker that comes up and says, Cecile Levee is doing her first live video on Instagram. Because that's what happens when you go live for the first time.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah, so that people will see it and come to watch.
I better get formally dressed for it.
That's right. So we look forward to seeing you tomorrow live.
Well, maybe not tomorrow, but we'll work on it there.
Thank you, Cecile.
Thank you so much, ladies. It was my absolute pleasure. Enjoyed every second of it. Thanks again for thinking of me. Thank you for thinking of me. Cheers.
Oh, that was so good.
Amazing.
That was a great show.
Yes. So we need to tell everybody that we are taking a break next week.
Just a little break, just an intermission.
Just for next week.
Just
and we'll be back the following week.
Yeah. And we have some amazing guests lined up. I mean, I'm wondering how we're going to manage this season, because this season just feel like it have to just continue.
Yeah.
I see Lauren Tomlinson on, and Lauren, we shall be reaching her. We're quite intrigued by our Lauren.
Yes.
And it's always amazing too that when our emergers are also emerging with us. So wow, guys, I can't wait to watch this episode over, because I mean, well, you know that I love my fabulous self already, but I'm approaching my fabulous self in a whole different fabulous way. Not starting tomorrow, starting right now. Right?
That's right. So guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow us on all of our platforms at Ready to Emerge. Sign up for our workshop on July 10th. We are emerging in a digital world. So we look forward to seeing you on June 30th. That will be our next episode. So we're taking an intermission next week, but we will see you again on Wednesday, June 30th.
Yes.
So follow us for information on who's going to be our next guest.
Yeah.
And don't forget to sign up again for the virtual workshop. It's going to be awesome.
Awesome.
Everybody for joining us. See you again soon, June 30th at 8 o'clock. Bye, everybody.
Everybody.